Hello, my friends, families, and colleagues. Uh, since we are seeing some people praising carnivore diet, some people actually stepping away from it or changing, adapting it, because undesirable symptoms occurred. I was asked by several of my followers to make a video on this subject. Now, the thing is that, of course, those are newer guys, newer people to my work, because anyone that follows my work a little bit and have watched several of my videos or did some reading of my articles gets it, where the truth lies. But if you're not familiar enough with the article, with my work, then of course you are going to wonder because of the information presented on internet. As I always state, majority people, a vast majority of people are parrots, because this is what we are being trained, this is how we are being trained to respond. Here is material, memorize it. When I ask you a question, repeat it. If you do, you're an excellent student, you are a fabulous, smart guy, and you are going to go far in your life. If you start asking questions, well, you are less desirable, and always the answer is like, what you are being a smart ass? You think you know more than the experts? Well, most likely anyone who was not brainwashed knows more than the experts, because experts are being titled because of brainwashing. They memorized everything they have been served, they believe in what they have been served, and they are experts of what they have been served, but not of the truth. So this same reflects now to explaining the symptoms of so-called carnivore diet. Many doctors look at carnivore diet as taboo, or don't go there, just because of the indoctrination program. But many people, I would say everyone that goes on carnivore diet, sees huge benefits, but symptoms occur. And as we go along, the symptoms may actually increase, and they are not desirable. So symptoms that actually may increase are symptoms of lethargy, lack of energy, symptoms of muscle cramps, symptoms of headaches. They may not come at the beginning, they may come later. And right away, this is being attached to a lack of beneficial plants. Well, nothing can be more untrue than this. So let's see. Number one, people have named it, well, you have a keto flu. You go into keto diet, and all of a sudden, you get symptoms of flu. What are these symptoms? The symptoms could be runny nose, nausea, diarrhea, even fever, and sweating, headache. Okay, so symptoms of flu. That's why it's called keto flu. And there are a variety of opinions why this occurs. Well, once when you understand that symptoms of flu are nothing more than symptoms of toxic blood and cleansing of toxic blood, then you would start looking at those symptoms of keto flu differently. Now, combining with this or dissecting it separately. So they say that here, resume carnivore diet symptoms, digestive issues, diarrhea, loose stool, stomach upset, during adaptation period. Well, adaptation has nothing to do with this thing. At least it's not the major factor, because body adapts very easily to the correct food. It takes a little longer to adapt to a poison. They say carb withdrawal symptom, and to this they classify headaches and fatigue, irritability, related to elimination of carbohydrates. Well, this is not really true. It's not the carbohydrate that is going to cause this. It's actually plant toxins when you stop poisoning yourself. And why these things occur? Because your hydration improves immediately, your absorption. So you start absorbing more. So when you stop poisoning your gut with plant poisons, the gut absorption increases. So you absorb better nutrients and you absorb better water and minerals. So as you start absorbing more water, the blood plasma starts increasing, because by eating meat, you are actually mineralizing yourself, because meat is made of basically salt. It has minerals in it. And you start raising a little bit plasma level, but if you are toxic, if your blood is toxic, this is immediate trigger. Wow, let's get these toxins out. And you start secreting toxic mucus, and your urine becomes darker and smellier. And this is part of these symptoms. Then we go another symptoms that develop. And could be also at the beginning of phase, if your skin, if your tissue is very toxic, you get itchy skin. Again, why? Okay, now they say, oh, some people connect this to the lack of antioxidants that were suppressing, preventing this bad action. No, there's nothing to do with this. Oxidative stress is a baloney. Okay? Does not exist. Not the way we are being told. Itchy skin is another consequence. If you are very toxic, it doesn't happen to everyone. It happens to those whose tissue is very toxic. And now, increased hydration actually increases the push of the toxins towards the skin and out of the skin. Becomes more toxic area, and inflammation occurs. Forced hydration, because you are actually, those toxins are disturbing your skin. Keto, metallic taste. Well, change of a taste. What do we see again? Toxic mucus coming out through mucosal tissue. Mouth is part of this tissue. So you are going to producing toxic mucus, and this may have a metallic taste if you are loaded with heavy metals. It may have taste of medication if you are loaded with medicinal remedies which are stuck in your tissue, could not cleanse because you were not cleansing. So you may smell like a pharmacy, okay? You may smell on ketone, on acetone, because your production of ketones increases, but you are still adjusting. So your cells are burning the sugars that you have. And this way, not all ketones are being used, and body breaks down what it doesn't need and then eliminates surplus. And since elimination comes not only through urine but also through mucosal tissue, so you have that taste in your mouth. But this is only a brief moment, maybe 1 day, 2 days. Then it's gone, body adjusts. Now, feeling hungry, well, we have to remember that sugar is highly, highly addictive. And the brain wants it. So it will take, usually it takes 1 week to kind of suppress this, and adding a little bit more fat to your diet will bring you enough energy. So, but it's beside it, because usually we have more than enough fat on the body. So it's basically just the problem of the dependence on sugar that we have developed. Now, here there is a site that says the 7 symptoms that follow this ketogenic diet and adjustment to the diet. And of course, number 1, diarrhea. Well, I just explained what triggers diarrhea. Diarrhea is toxic release through mucosal tissue. Diarrhea and nausea, they come hand to hand, depending how toxic is the mucus that is coming out. To this, we may even add appearance of phlegm, because if your lungs are toxic, you are going to have also higher phlegm production because you will be cleansing your lungs. You may have like a running nose and running eyes, like sinusitis. Well, because you are cleansing, you are toxic there, and your blood plasma levels are increasing because you are receiving a lot of minerals through meat diet. Now, I would say majority of people that are on meat diet have studied the work of Ionis. Now, I was asked, oh, what's your opinion about Argenis? Argenis, this is another baloney American interpretation of a name. J in European languages other than English is pronounced Y. So it's Ionis. It's not Argenis. The whole name gets twisted. But let's keep grammar out of science and science. Everything that Argenis was talking about, other than the carnivore eating meat and fat, he was totally wrong about. He was proponent of no salt. Well, you don't need a salt if you start eating correctly when you winds off milk. Because as long as you are on mother's milk, you are in ketogenic state. And you can grab a meat, a minced meat, you can eat it and you'll be fine. You take a little bit of pasta or potato and you'll be vomiting, you'll have diarrhea, you'll have cramps, because it's not our body is not adjusted for this food. So if you want to feed it with this crap, you have to start slowly. So usually mothers start doing compote. Very small amount of carbohydrates. It's basically broken up fiber, cooked fruit, and then little by little, some sugar on it. You know, it's sweet, children like it. And then after we get a little bit used to this, body shifts a little bit to accommodate this crap, then you start adding a little bit kashica. Okay, a little bit boiled carbohydrate. And again, body is going to have problems, but it's going to go through it easily. Well, little by little, you start poisoning it. And it's same like giving a body some heavy toxin, like cyanide. You know, you put a drop of cyanide on lip, lick it, and pow, in a minute you're dead. Start foaming through your mouth. Well, if you take that drop of cyanide and put it in a big bowl of soup, mix it, and then eat only 1 teaspoon of it, not much will happen with you. Next day, eat 1 tablespoon. The day after, eat a few tablespoons. And little by little, within 14 days or so, you will be able to take a drop of cyanide, lick it, and nothing happens to you. It's not that cyanide becomes good for you, becomes your food, your nutrient. It is your body has learned to shield itself from it, adjust it to it. And the adjustment always costs you, because part of the adjustment is keeping your cells tight, not allowing penetration of this toxin into the cell, which prevents cellular hydration and cellular detox. And this is exactly how plants with their toxins affect our health. They don't kill you on a spot. But what is the first effect of plant toxin? Well, first it comes into your mouth, stomach, and gut. Since it is toxic, the cells there start tightening. So, in the mouth, you may feel that dry feeling, like after having tea, for example, when you are clean, you can actually sense things. Any kind of a tea. Doesn't have to have caffeine in it. After you have it, you will see your mouth is like dry. Well, cells close, they don't want the crap. And it goes into your gut. The gut cells also start tightening up. So what happens? Your absorption is less. And then more liquid stays in your gut, and you have softer stool or diarrhea, or at least manageable stool. So it is not the fiber that is necessary to keep us regular. It is actually the toxin of a plant. And your body, if it is toxic, it is in need of plasma, because it is toxic because it is not able to eliminate toxins from our blood, because it's low on plasma. Blood is dense. is in a state of what our experts tell us, polycythemia. Thick blood. Too many blood cells. It's not too many blood cells, it's not enough plasma. Dehydrated blood. So, such a blood cannot cleanse. And this way, the tissue gets filled with toxins. And little by little, we cleanse through skin, through sweat, through places of irritation, more than other places, and we start having eczemas and all kinds of crap on the skin. Well, majority of us have been poisoned most of our lives before we go into keto diet. So older you are, the more toxic you are, the more dehydrated you are, on a blood level and on a cellular level. So when you start hydrating, when you stop poisoning yourself, well, first, you stop eating plants, so you are not poisoning your gut. Your cells start relaxing, start absorbing better. And since you are toxic, immediately, body is programmed to cleanse, to maintain itself. And there is a program monitoring toxicity. There is a program monitoring the level of hydration. You can never overhydrate. If you drink too much, you will eliminate the surplus through sweating, through urinating, through diarrhea, but you will eliminate it. But then people say, oh, what's about water retention? It has nothing to do with too much liquid. Most people that suffer from water retention are very toxic elderly people. And they are skinny, they have a polycythemia. The blood is dehydrated. It has nothing to do with having too much liquid in the body. It's just liquid is in the wrong place because the tissue is toxic, and when lymph goes there, becomes toxic, and because of the controlling mechanisms, the flow of lymph back into the blood is going to be restricted, not to cause septicemia. And this is what causes water retention. So we have to start understanding symptoms correctly and not blaming, oh, carnivore, you see, this is acidic food when you are eating. No, contrary. You eat carbohydrates, you are acidifying your body because we always overeat, and the surplus of glucose and the fructose that comes in is going to be converted in the liver into fat, and side product is uric acid. So you are going to acidify your body. And then if you are low on blood plasma, this acid cannot be removed. So your uric acid level rises. And then you start crystallizing it. You start making kidney stones. And crystals, they can be underneath your skin, they can be in your joints. Wherever you are alkaline, this is where you will crystallize more because you sediment minerals in alkaline area, not in acidic area. And because of this, since blood is always alkaline, bingo, you get atherosclerosis. So we have to understand again body completely in a different way than what we have been indoctrinated with. And this I'm applying to you, doctors, colleagues. Open your eyes. Everything we have been told in the medical school is a crap. It's contrary to the truth. Everything. So the diplomas don't mean diddly squat. You don't see any diploma behind me. Not that I was given one, but, now knowing what diploma stands for, medical diploma, what it stands for, so I'm ashamed of it. I'm indoctrinated schmuck, trained how to cause diseases and kill people. This is what we are learning in medical school. And then it spills onto all of these wannabe healers who use this school science as a base of their understanding of what is happening. Well, we are made to understand things incorrectly. It's a completely different ballgame. So diarrhea is going to be caused because you are again poisoning your intestine, your colon, because you are secreting toxic mucus. If your blood is very toxic, the mucus could be also accumulating toxic mucus in your stomach, causing nausea, vomiting. Since mostly people come from vegetarian diet, or what they call omnivore, a lot of vegetables, a little bit of meat, overcooked meat, and now they start eating correctly and they start poisoning themselves. Well, the first thing is going to be they go into detox. The absorption is increasing rapidly because they are not poisoning the intestine anymore. And this causes constipation. Unless you have enough plasma to also soften the stool. And when you are in this very toxic state, you only can have either constipation or diarrhea. It all depends how much of plasma did you take. Many people actually going to maybe have diarrhea first few days, and they think, oh, it's a transition process, my gut is getting used not having this. There's nothing to the transition process. It is just your blood is very toxic. You stop poisoning your intestines, so they start absorbing better. And the first plasma that you get, the programs say, well, this toxin is really bad, and plasma, if I lose this much plasma, it is not going to be as problematic as it is now with these toxins, and bingo, you eliminate very toxic stuff. So you eliminate it not only through urine, but also through mucosal tissue. And toxic stuff, so toxic mucus comes into your gut, closes colon, and you get diarrhea. But when you flush this initial bad toxins, now plasma, when it continues coming in, the program says, okay, well, I'm really low on plasma. I need to raise this plasma, but toxins are here, but they are not that problematic as my low plasma is. So you start hydrating. And if you have enough plasma, you start also detoxifying. So you start eliminating. But usually at the beginning, after the initial diarrhea, you go into constipation because you are severely dehydrated and highly toxic. So your body will be soaking in all the liquid it can bond to minerals. So if you are hydrating using distilled water, well, you will be urinating because your body cannot hold it. Even though you are eating now meat and you are bringing minerals, so you will slowly be hydrating, but not nearly fast enough. And your body will be eliminating the surplus that in a moment it cannot bond to the water that you brought in. So yeah, you will be sweating and urinating a lot, but it will be clear urine and you are not going to be eliminating any toxin. You are just balancing your plasma level in the body, with available minerals. This is why here is Argenis or Ionis. He is wrong, because depriving salt of toxic people, it's not a good idea. He also said, oh, we should not be drinking water because body produces water. Well, yeah, explain it. Go across the Sahara. Let me see how far you get. And have meat with you as much as you want. You won't get far. Yes, we can produce anything, and we do produce everything we need, because we are toroidal field, and everything is basically based on our imagination. The whole reality is imagination. But it's a programmed imagination. It runs on programs. So as long as you want to be part of the experience, you have to follow the programs. Programs are made to adjust. This is why we have genes. They react to an environment and they make the adjustments. So this is why we can adjust to certain things. And we have given many names to this adjustment. We call it even evolution. No, it's adaptation. It's not evolution. Evolution, what is when you have a creation of new species? It's a change of programming that is concocted in a quantum field of consciousness. It has nothing to do with only present time mutation. There is no way you can get from dinosaurus cow. But it happened. There is no transition process. There's no adaptive process to it. But we do adapt to the environment so we can survive changes in the environment. Otherwise, we would die. Every time you would eat something different, you would die, because if you cannot adjust, adapt to it, tough. Google, you can't survive. And we know it, because if you take nucleus out of cell and leave it in the same environment that you took the cell from, the cell will live like the other cells with the nucleus, no problem. But then if you change the salinity, if you add something that is mildly different, the cells with the nucleus are going to survive normally. They'll make adjustment. Those without nucleus will die because they cannot adjust. They need genetic system to adjust. And the genetic system, is a nucleus of the cell. And so goes fractally to the body. Our doctor is our genetic system that adjusts. And the adjustments actually cause then changes in symptoms. But you survive. Then when we start monkeying with the symptoms because we don't understand them correctly, and we start calling the healing process a disease, we suppress it, we slowly kill the body. This is the base of modern medicine. The scientific approach. So, there is no healthier diet than raw animal diet, raw meat and fat. Do you need variety? Do you need to eat inner organs? Do you need to eat different type of animals to sustain the need of the body? No. You can eat only one thing from the animal. You can survive on a liver. You can survive on a mussel. You can survive on a fish. You can survive on a, I don't know, shrimp. Well, you may need more energy because, again, that's how we are programmed. So you may have to eat more because less fat it has, the more you have to eat. Body will convert protein into fat when it needs it for energy, but the conversion altogether, there will be less than half calories of energy available from the same amount of meat than it is from the same amount of fat because of the conversion process. So we can survive on carbohydrates, but genetically the body has to adjust. And unfortunately, big changes have to occur that impact our life tremendously. We are not aware of it until we crash, and then we start attributing this to all kinds of stuff, but not to carbohydrate. And we start calling it the good carbohydrate. There's no such a thing as a good carbohydrate when it comes to energy of animals. When I say, well, look at animal world in the nature. They don't eat anything cooked. Has to be raw to maintain the correct frequency. Oh, we are not animals. God created us different. We are the same robot, like a dog, like a cat, like a cow, with particular digestive adjustment. You give dog and cat, you give the crap that we eat, they can come up with exactly same symptoms as we do. Exactly the same. And if we start eating correctly, like the wild cats and wolves do, we are going to be as healthy as they are. Zero of chronic diseases. Zero, nada. So it's no brainer to observe and learn. But when we mix soyans into this, we are stirring a soup where a bunch of misinformation clicks in. And every doctor is going to use this misinformation to try when analyzing the situation. And this is why you cannot go to doctor to heal you, because he only knows how to poison you. That's what we are trained in medical school. Who controls the books doctors learn from? Rockefeller Foundation. They are cabal. What cabal wants? Depopulation. So if you are in control, what you are going to teach someone, and you want him dead, to teach him how to kill himself. This is exactly what schools are for, medical schools are for. And then prevent healers, the shamans, the tribal healers, get them out of business, kill them. This was the first thing that was done when people came, when cabal start infiltrating United States. Kill the Indians, kill the shamans. Still going on, but finally it's going to be soon history, as we are going to, we have won this war already. Now it's just going to be shown to people that have been sleeping and have not noticing what is happening around them. Anyway, so everything that we are told about the symptoms that happen when we go into ketogenic diet is related to hydration and cleansing of the body. And if you support it by bringing additional plasma, then the bodies can cleanse quicker. and you can get good state. If not, then you are little by little increasing the plasma level, increasing the blood level. So you are little by little poking toxins and saturating the blood with them. And the mechanism are still for checking out, okay, what is more important, hydrating or detoxing? And most of the time you keep hydrating, and then you may have a spurt of detox and you feel bad. This food is not good for me. It's because we are misunderstanding the body. Cramps, and usually at night. Why? Because you start cellular hydration. And to engage osmotic pump, your cells have to produce a lot of potassium. They use sodium to produce potassium. Well, there comes to a point of misequilibrium because you are producing a lot of potassium on a cellular level, so you're absorbing a lot of sodium, converting it, and now you have imbalance, causing problem of electric conductivity. You get cramps. Put salt in your mouth, cramp go away. So drinking salty plasma before going to sleep is going to help you. You bring more sodium, okay, so you'll have more, even when you produce potassium, you'll have enough sodium there and no cramp. Heart palpitation. Why does heart palpitation? Oh, because usually at night, the cells will start absorbing, running the pumps, osmotic pumps. And the first thing cell does when it absorbs the liquid, vomits toxins out. So if your one organ vomits toxins, your blood becomes so toxic that emergency button has to be pushed. You have sepsis, blood poisoning. Accelerate the blood circulation. Bring more energy because the heart produces energy. And speeds up the circulation to eliminate these toxins from the blood faster. And you start, because of this, you start also sweating. You get nausea. You get diarrhea. Yeah, you are eliminating toxic load. And this could happen often. Usually it doesn't happen day after day consecutively, because once when cells hydrate, they can only hydrate when blood is clean. So once when they hydrate a little bit and detoxify, blood becomes toxic, you have all these symptoms, and it will take body maybe 2-3 days, maybe 4 days to get blood clean enough to take another sip on a cellular level. And it goes, and this is why cellular hydration is a slow process, because the level of toxicity could be staggering. I see on some people on kidney dialysis, blood dialysis, they are made so freaking toxic that they are full of acid, but they don't even know it as long as acid is in a tissue, in the cells. Once when it starts being released and goes into the blood, and then starts getting eliminated, the strong acidic content can cause burning when you urinate and when you defecate. Right away, the indoctrinated mind goes, oh, bacteria, we gotta kill this. It's nothing to do with bacteria. Bacteria doesn't produce these acids. This is what your body is eliminating. Again, a lot of confusion, a lot of misconception. Understanding correctly is the key. And don't be afraid of tachycardia when it comes. Again, it goes, oh, this is because disbalance. No, it's a reaction that is programmed to accelerate the heart when the body needs either more energy or has to eliminate something fast from a blood or has to supply something fast to the cells. This is when heart accelerates. There is no problem of a heart. There is action that demands heart acceleration. Yes, you can have accelerated heart if oxygenation is not good, and one of the reasons why oxygenation is not good because you have a leaky valve, so part of the blood, instead of pumping it through aorta and feeding, oxygenating your body, it goes back into the venous system. So there's not enough new oxygen coming. And the demand for more oxygen increases the speed of the heart rate. And you can go into palpitation when there is too much blood coming the other way. So basically you have stagnant. Blood doesn't circulate, but the heart beats like crazy. You can die. And again, we have now people understanding that heart is not only a pump, that heart actually produces energy. But because of confusion, now some start saying, no, heart is not a pump, heart is energy producing organ. No, it's both. When heart palpitates, well, it compresses, it produces energy, but it doesn't flow. Anyway, it's a very complex situation. It's a science on its own. So we have to replace science with science. And to do so, we have to forget everything we have ever been told, especially through indoctrination program of schools, and start new page with the truthful information. It's not easy because the other programs interfere, but we got to do it. There's no other way around. And, you know, we doctors should not be ashamed that we don't know shit about healing. We have been fooled like everybody else. We are all slaves of the rotten system. We all have been fooled. We are all working for others and live in misery. We just have to accept it and turn the page. Thank you for listening. I hope I put some clarity on this carnivore diet. If you need some detailed information, let me know. I'll try to explain. In the meantime, love you all. We are all one in this process. And God bless us all. Love you. Namaste.